See if this thing starts. All right. Let's start Facebook. What is up, YouTube? Got an important announcement for you guys today in the insurance world. Let's get the Facebook stream going. And we shall see. Post in group. Hope all of you are having a great day. Just going live in the Facebook group as well. And let's just start it. All right, looks like we are live on Facebook as well now. I'm not sure why that is so bright. Need to get a blackout curtain for that. But anyways, hope all of you are having a great Monday. I'm forced with an interesting ultimatum. I believe I will be leaving the insurance industry. It is I found it to no longer be advantageous to the life that I want to live and the man that I want to be. It's no longer serving me. And most of the people in it, well, I love you dearly. I love you as much as I can. But some of you have given me such a big headache that if I owned the world's biggest Tylenol factory, it still wouldn't be enough to get rid of it. And I say that cheerfully and gratefully. So, you guys have helped me pursue a path of knowledge and acceptance, and it's a journey in and of itself. And I'll say that most problems never get solved to their full extent. Meaning, like I picked up passivity at a very young age, and now I'm to the point where the industry it's full of bullshit. We have lead vendors selling just god awful dog shit polished with like gold, and people still think that it's not a dog turd, and it's absolutely horrendous. People just went to a conference that just happened and watched a big time person in IMO I used to be with messing with some black girl's dreads and saying some really racial and misogynistic things, and just drunk out of their minds, and basically being a pedo. It's some really ugly and heartbreaking shit. And this industry is just, it's not things that I want to necessarily be involved with. And the attrition rate in this industry, it's god awful. And my morality filter, maybe it's getting in the way. Maybe it's the whole fact of what I would never do that. Whatever that may be, I would never recruit people into something I know they're not going to be good at just for money. Maybe that's what has caused the problems that I have. But I'm looking at transitioning more to a done-for-you webinar model. It's something I find absolutely beautiful, is studying the nuances and making webinars and one-to-many sales machines actually convert and work well, how to brainwash your audience. I've gotten very established with it. I've helped a lot of people with their webinars. I've gotten phenomenal with it. I just command a good stage presence. I don't have these confidence issues that most people have. It's just not something that is my problem to deal with. And so that's the ultimatum I'm forced to face now is, should I leave the insurance industry and focus on higher leverage things, go more broad in terms of what I do, or choose a different vertical? Because this industry, Jesus Christ, it's most of you are just not going to get out of your way. And that's the uncomfortable truth that most of you are just going to be forced to accept, especially as agency owners. Most of your agents are not going to do shit. Joe, what's up, buddy? Hope you're having a great day. Like most of your agents just aren't going to do shit, and it's not going to mesh well with your morality. Like you see these agencies, oh Jesus Christ, I've got 5,000 agents. Okay, but only 50 of them are writing policies, dude. Only 50 of them are writing. It's like, what are you bragging about? What are you bragging about? I've got agencies that I've helped of 5 people that have outperformed your 5,000. It's just, it's nuts. It's nuts. It's the wild, wild west out here. We wonder why the insurance industry is the hardest to be profitable in. I managed to find my way very successfully through it and navigate. I've helped quite a bit of few agents do it myself. All right, which I'm extremely proud of them, even though they are ungrateful, selfish pricks now. But I'm proud of them. They haven't turned into very honorable people, but I've helped them make money. I helped them solve that. You can call me a lot of things, but you can't call me dumb. You can't call me poor. You just can't do that. So I'm curious what your thoughts are. If you were in my position, what would you do? I'm curious. Would you go sell higher ticket products to people who can actually afford them? Or out of the goodness of your heart, would you stay in an industry that actively seeks to undermine your efforts and pitch products that are not advantageous to the masses? Because when I'm talking to top producers, do you know what their problems are? It's like, how do I deal with my emotions? How do I get people to like me? What do I do with my time? And those are just like, it blows my mind. And so maybe I should just pull an Alex Hormozy and give all my shit away for free and build up my email list again and then dump a school community on it. I don't know what I should do. I'm still in conversation with God on what I should do, the path I should take, the next chapter of life. But I know insurance is not going to be it for the long term. And so should I sell my business? Should I just close it down and give shit away? Because someone else would come in here and sell my stuff for way more than I charge. So I may do one more event, one more webinar, one more something. But that's the predicament that I'm in. Because I can go talk to people who are making millions of dollars and solve their problems. Because they're all like, yeah, I just don't have time to do this. And if you did that for me, I'd easily pay you $25,000, $50,000 for that. Or should I struggle to fight tooth and nail with some of you agents to get over your own bullshit? It's like, I can't sell. I just don't want to pick up the phone, Mason. It's too hard. Is that what I should say? It's like, but this lead vendor, they told me I could finance my leads. It's what? And that's just not the problem I want to solve anymore. I have evolved. I want to do things that are going to make way bigger of an impact. And so that's just what I'm looking at. Should I sell Running Buddy? Should I just close it down, give everything away as a lead magnet? Should I keep doing it? I don't know. The economy's tightening. What am I, 12 years old, making a mistake like that? Tightening with 3 ends, whatever that is. Should I? There's a lot of things I should do. A lot of things I want to do. I believe I'm going to be making the pivot in the next month to selling done-for-you webinar services to a lot more. Because if you look at what most people do when they come over here in the insurance industry, they get sold into this pipe dream of success and Ferraris and bullshit, and you don't have to work and you can make $1 trillion fucking dollars. And that's just not the case. And then your morality filter gets in the way of a lot of you. But my dad said insurance is a scam, but I want to say, and most of you just aren't going to be successful with it. Here's the brutal reality is that 99% of you just aren't going to fucking make it. I know that people have the events around the 8% stuff, but it's more like 99% of you just don't fucking make it. 99% of you cannot get out of your own fucking way. 99% of you are never going to be resourceful enough to 99% of you are never going to be resourceful enough to find the money to buy the help that you need, because you treat your money like rich people treat their time. You're like, $1,000. Oh, to let go of that is frightening for you. I just don't mess with that. That's not the group of people that I want to do life with long term. I understand your problems very well. I understand it better than anyone else in this industry. I've come up with more. What most of the people leave after my webinar is like, wow, I'm willing to sell this to pay for that. It's like no one else is offering anything like this. You're touching more souls than a doormat. That's my favorite testimonial ever, by the way. That's going in my first rap song when you see me on Spotify. But But I'm in an interesting position. I'm curious to know, what would you do in my position? Would you stay in an industry that says they love what you have, but are not willing to pull out their credit cards most of the time and buy it? That's truly the ultimate test, is if you have product market fit and stuff like that. I've came up with such elegant and simple solutions, but no one believes it, because no one believes what they are told. They believe what they conclude. They believe what they conclude. And the lie of the industry is buy leads and dial. And it's slavery. It's mental slavery. It's a lack of resolve. There's a lot of things going on in this industry because it's a churn and burn model. It's a churn and burn model. It always has been. And that's why it has the highest non-success rate out of any other industry. Even more so than real estate. Even more so than real estate. And while the 0.1% make a large amount of money, most don't. Most don't. Most go bankrupt. Most go back to bartending or doing whatever they can to fork and foot next month's lead bill. And here's the predicament that most insurance agents are in. Should I pay my bills or should I buy more leads? That's the position most of you are in. And it's a very scary position. Trust me, I know. I almost lost my house fucking three or four times. 3 or 4 times I had to sit there and look at myself in the mirror every fucking day. It's like, wow, what should I do? I came into this industry, someone promised me all these things, and I was like, dude, I believed you. I believed you, and you took advantage of me. Because I was like a fresh babe in the woods. I was like a fresh piece of clay in their hands, and they molded me. And I had to become aware and unlearn everything they taught me and pick up some real marketing, some real sales stuff. Not just reading from a fucking script is not sales training. Get that through your thick fucking skulls. Get that through your thick skulls. It's not a sales training. Understand that. These cute one-liners and rebuttals, they're not just going to drop people's pants and make them give you money. You understand what you are selling. Understand what you are selling first off. Like, that's the position I'm in. This is the shit that I have to combat. And while it has been fun, I've made a good amount of money. I'll say that. I'm proud of what I've done in this industry. I've filled up the biggest event in the industry. I've sold a lot of policies in an hour. I don't know any other agent who has helped another agent make 6 figures in a fucking hour selling policies. You go name one. Go name. And I'm not talking from selling one annuity. I'm talking selling hundreds of simplified issued life policies. Name one. Type them in the comments. I'd love to reach out and see what they did. I don't know anyone else selling one-to-many solutions like that. I just don't. And most people, I'm just not going to devalue myself to sell products just to make I'm just not going to do it. And so maybe now's the time to come to shut down Running Buddies and just, here you go, here's all my resources for free. Most of the poor people would like that. And when I say poor, understand it, that's nothing against you. That's nothing against you. Cut from different cloths, however you want to say that. But I no longer understand the problems. I'm too far apart. It's been too long since I haven't had money to buy things that I want. And maybe there's a disconnect. I don't know. Maybe you like being taken advantage of. Maybe there's a lot of things. It's kind of like the girl who believes she isn't worthy, and so she keeps going to a guy who's not so good for her because he proves her right in telling her, hey, you're never going to find anyone that you're not worth shit. Maybe that's the relationship. It's very parasitic. And some of you see that with your friends in the dating world, and you're like, how do you not see what's going on? But you don't see it happening to you right now with Lead Bender. I don't know. I'll see things clear as day. Maybe it's my claircognizance. I just have this intuition, and the right answers come to me, and maybe that's why I never had to study to get straight A's in school. I don't know. I'm a weird dude, and that's why I got picked on and bullied. I was so weird that I used to take a Sharpie because I was so embarrassed of who I was in middle school because we couldn't afford Nike fucking socks. I would take a Sharpie and I'd draw Nike check marks on my white tube socks because that's all I ever could afford. That's all my mom could get me. And Power Rangers. I loved my Power Rangers. But anyways, and Ninja Turtles. But it's an interesting position that I'm in. And I'm curious, what would you do if you were in my position? I'm curious. I want to know what works, be taught so I can do it. Most people don't want to be taught anything. Let's just be real. Most of you would just rather have someone else solve your problems for you. But here's the brutal reality. No one's coming to save you. And most of you are just not going to learn to manage your time well. Most of you are not going to be in this industry come 2025. January 1st, you will be more concerned about what fucking president is going to be elected, what the transgender fights are going on, the Olympics, because that's important. You have no understanding of marketing, advertising, like what a business actually is, the external and internal functions of a business. You have, most of you don't even know what LTV means, if I said that. Simple business acronyms. Most of you have never picked up Sam Walton's Made in America or like Innovation Secrets of Steve Jobs by Carmine Gallo and learned what it actually takes to run a successful business. You want to sell just enough policies to break even and not be told what to do from a fucking boss that you hated. That way you can feel a little bit better about yourself. That's okay. Me too. That's what I wanted when I was where you were. And so, here's maybe here's what I should do. Maybe I should let my balls shrivel up to the point where I'm no longer a man and I should go sell leads to the masses. Maybe I should fuck the whole industry without a condom on. Maybe that's what I should do. And just sell bullshit because you people buy it. Maybe that's what I should do. Just take advantage of the easily manipulated, highly suggestible people. Or maybe it's just where my morality filter gets in my way of making exponentially larger amounts of money than I currently do. I mean, I've done my 7 figures. I've done that. I've earned the right. But I don't know. I think God would be highly displeased if I took that route. And it's no shame to anyone selling lead vendors. I get it. You got to do what pays the bills for your family. This isn't shaming anybody. But it is. But it is. I think it's stupid. So, what would you do if you were in my position? That's the... I love hearing you guys' perspectives. I'm like, Mason, don't leave. I love giving you money. I love having you give me money. I love having customers for life. Don't you? Like, isn't that the business that you're in? Getting customers for life? Getting them to give you more money over and over every year, buying more stuff, buying more expensive stuff, not canceling. Because all the things you want to sell, you don't buy. And how you buy is how you sell. Some of you want all the prizes without being willing to pay the price. It's... Then all the recency bias and all the confirmation bias. It breaks my heart to see most of the lives that you live. It does. It keeps me up at night. Walking around my fucking neighborhood at 2 or 3 in the morning saying, wow, I wonder what Brad's like struggling with. I wonder why he can't see his way out of this. I wonder what Christy's doing right here. I wonder what Caitlin can't fucking understand about this. I wonder what that's all I think about is your fucking problems. I don't even have time to think about my own goddamn problems. Name one other person in this industry that cares more than I do about you than yourself. You won't. Maybe I don't know. There's a lot of fucking maybes and shoulds and could be's. Maybe in an alternate reality, you people would value yourselves and just be confident enough to take fucking decisive action and be reckless, even if it was in the wrong direction. Because at least you could pivot. At least you would do something besides sitting there and thinking about the problem all day rather than thinking about a solution. See, here's how I get what I want in life. I find someone who already has done what I wanted to, and I give them money to buy their mistakes. Then I learn what not to do, and I just do the right thing by default. Oh, what a smart thing to do. Well, it was only because I was so dumb for a long time. I don't know. So I'm curious. What would you do in my position? Here are the 2 things that I'm leaning towards. Should I sell done-for-you webinar services to high-ticket business owners who, let's just be real, don't have the time to learn the nuances and understand the beauty that is in propaganda and manipulation and selling to the man? When I say that word, some of you have a negative connotation. Like, manipulation, I would never do that. And that's why you don't make sales. That's why you don't make as many sales as you would want. You think there's something wrong with it. When in all reality, it's natural, it's normal. A lot of you think, well, I'm an insurance agent. What I do is I'll persuade people. What they do is manipulation. I thought the same thing. It's all the same. Us marketers are really good at rebranding words. It's kind of like when a bunch of people and Knights Templars and all this shit came into like Greek mythology. Who labeled things mythology? It's salesmanship, it's propaganda, it's manipulation, it's whatever you want to call it, it's influence, and it happens naturally every single day. And if you believe you don't manipulate, you're in for a rude awakening because each and every one of you did it as a kid. Dad, can I stay up at night? 10 extra minutes, please, past my bedtime? No, go to bed. Mom, can I stay up 10 extra minutes? Dad said I couldn't. I just want to stay with my mama. I just want to hang out with you, mama. And she's like, yeah, baby, I guess. And you played the bedtime politics against your parents, and you manipulated them to get your way. Because us as kids, we're selfish. We only want... Well, sharing is caring. What do you mean? What do you mean? Like, let's be real. Let's be real. A lot of us, that concept is still fucking foreign. But what would you do if you were in my position? Would you stay in an industry? Would you stay in the insurance industry and keep selling to people and make a couple $1 million a year? Or would you pivot to a done-for-you webinar model where you could just sell a package for $25, $50, $100,000 or get percentage of sales or equity in a business for having an automated selling machine? I'm curious, what would you do? What would you do? And I feel like God is telling the universe, whatever, is pointing me more in the done-for-you webinar model just because maybe a part of me feels uncomfortable over there, playing at a lot bigger scale. I'll be real with you. But I know I can fucking crush it. But insurance has gotten boring for me. One, because people don't listen. 99% of you agents just don't fucking listen to anything. You don't. You don't even listen to your customers, and they'll tell you how they want to be sold. Then you come to me after you spent 15 grand on a conference and lead vendors and a YouTube interview, and you're like, Mason, I don't know what happened. But I felt really good after, but nothing actually changed. Feeling good about something does not mean it's right. Understand that. This is business. This is fucking business. And not all good men are great men, my dear friend. So what would you do? Leave a comment. What would you do in my shoes? Some people will say, Mason, you're abandoning me. Go fix your damn abandonment issues. All right, I ain't abandoning nobody. Am I quitting? Possibly. If you want to label it as that. I think I'm just making the best move on the chessboard. I think right now my position is fucked. And I have to throw out a queen sacrifice and do something drastically different. Because the economy is tightening. A lot of insurance agents just don't have money. And I'm not going to give away my shit for free. I'm just not. I'm not going to devalue myself to the point like, for example, I've always dated pretty girls. I'm not just going to say, well, things are getting hard. You know what? I'm just going to go date a 2 out of 10 who already has 18 kids. No, that's just not me, my dear friend. That's just not me. I actually went on a date with a girl the other day I really liked. And so, well, we'll see how that goes. But what would you do? I've been in this industry since COVID, so almost half a fucking decade. And I've made tremendous impact on people's lives. I've changed people's lives. I've gotten them to jump off. I've gotten them to not jump off a bridge. I've gotten them to not drive their car off a fucking cliff. I've gotten them to have their kids see them as superheroes once again. I've gotten them to have their wife actually want to fuck them. And that's really what I've sold, is getting you laid or getting you paid. You pick. You pick. That's what you're all selling, believe it or not. But what would you do? Curious. I love this industry dearly, but it's no longer serving me. The relationship has become rather parasitic, and I found myself wanting to over-deliver and help people out of the goodness of my heart. Like that. That shit doesn't pay bills, and I have a lot of monthly expenses. So what would you do? Shoot me a message. Comment down below. Would you stay in it? Would you stay selling to insurance agents, or would you pivot to a done-for-you webinar model? If you're one of those people needing a webinar done for you, let me know. Let me know. But I'm curious. This is the fork in the road, my dear friends. Maybe this is goodbye. I don't know. Maybe this is me kicking myself out of my own nest of comfortability and doing something that I deem is way higher in value, way higher leverage. I can work with way smarter people, because if you take the business owner who's doing 50,000, 100,000 a month, they are way more inclined to work, way more inclined to buy their time back than an agent scraping by 5 to 10K a month. They just are. They just are. Like it or not, it's fucking reality. It's reality. And so a lot of you, you'd wish to be in a position that I'm in. To have this as your problem. Like, Mason, this is what you're fucking struggling with. Maybe this is shiny object syndrome. I don't know. This is the first time I've had to make a decision like this. Should I pivot? I'm genuinely curious. I believe I've already made up my mind, but we'll see. If I do, I'll do one big going away event. I'll sell everything I've ever built for a stupid fucking deal. Probably a couple $1,000s, and people would still find a reason to bitch about that. People would still find a reason. And maybe that's why this just isn't my cup of tea anymore. See, my philosophy is just hang out with rich people. They tend to want to make you one of them. Hang out with richer people. And so I've got tons of acquaintances. I talk to a lot of you all the time if you're an insurance agent, but we shall see, my dear friends. We shall see. What would you do? I don't see any comment. I don't see anything. What would you do in my position? Would you abandon ship and go to a different one? Well, what's the Warren Buffett quote? Doesn't matter how hard you row. It matters more what ship you're in, what boat that you're in. Maybe I'm in the wrong boat now. No clue. Maybe I'm in the right boat with the wrong oars. There's so many different dramatic ways to portray this dilemma that I have. I genuinely don't know, though. This is my first time in entrepreneurship where I have to make a decision like this. And so I'll end up making one by the end of this week. Like, this is a big decision, though. What should I do for the next decade of my life? Should I really focus on changing the insurance industry, or pivot to a done-for-you webinar model and just... And I know there's no right or wrong choice. It's just, which one do I want to make? But I want you insurance agents to get in the habit of thinking like this. What's the best move on the board? Even when your position is totally fucked. They have the knights and their bishops and their rooks attacking you and threatening your position at all times. Do you take the queen sacrifice? Do you get ground down slowly, even though you know you've already lost? Which one do you do? So I don't know. I'm leaning more towards the done-for-you webinar model. It's probably what I've already decided. I don't know. Maybe this is just an easy dampening frame of mine to say goodbye to an industry that's turned me into who I am, which I'm very grateful for. I'm very proud of the man I've become. I don't. That's one thing I no longer understand is what it feels like to walk around and not be confident in yourself. I know I'm capable of anything. I can hold a baby and crush someone's esophagus in the same day, and not fucking bat an eye. Like I'm a very versatile. You're always living two lives at the same time, my dear friends. We live in a paradoxical world. Two things can be true at the same time. But a lot of you, because you can't see it, you don't trust yourself. It goes back to Khalil Gibran. He has one of my favorite poems, A Tear and a Smile. A Tear and a Smile. One of the things he talks about in that poem is like the life of a flower is longing and fulfillment. At evening's approach, the flower folds her lips and embraces her and awaits her longing or something. And then at morning's approach, She opens up her lips to meet the sun's kiss. How beautiful is that? How beautiful is that? The life of a flower is longing and fulfillment. Then he talks about the life of a cloud as a parting and a meeting. We live two lives at the same time every day. Humans are multifaceted. We have archetypes. So you're never the same person all the way through. And so this industry is graciously allowed me, of all people, me of all people, to afford such luxuries of education and becoming painfully aware to the point that man. While people feel pain, I feel agony. And when people feel good, I feel just fucking bliss. And man, the more aware you are, I'd argue it's a path that most of you don't want. Most of you don't want it. Even though you say you do. Are you willing to pay the price that comes with this? Of being misunderstood, of always being misinterpreted, of never being... You're alone. And you'll find one or two people in your journey that truly understand the nuances of you and the path you have chosen. And so, I don't know, maybe I'll find a better group. Maybe I'll find a group of people who understand me more than agents. I don't know. There's a lot of reasons. I'm still a very selfish person. But it's like, I encourage you all to chase decisions that allow you to live life the way you want to. I want to live a life where I understand the secrets. I yearn for them. People see 60-second snapshot of me saying crazy shit on the internet for fucking clickbait and views and take it out of context. But if you want to know what I really think about the end of my days, it's what are the secrets? And I'd rather have things that I can't answer than things that I can't question. I'll tell you that because I'm not a fucking slave. I'm not a slave. And in a world where that couldn't be true, I'd rather not be alive. If that was the case, like if there was a world where I couldn't question the answers, that's just not a life worth living to me. Of subservience, of always being told what to do, of believing I'm not enough and the only way to get to heaven is to fucking push off all the things I like and sacrifice. No. God wants me to live a prosperous life. God wants you to live a prosperous life. People see that as like a megalomaniac, shit like that. It's just not the case. It's okay. I judge too. I'll be the first person to tell you I happily judge a book by its cover. What is the book's cover? It's activity. I always trust that you do. I very rarely trust anything any of you ever say to me. Most communication is nonverbal. It's 93%. How you say things when you're sitting there talking to me like this. I know you're not inviting. I can read you like a fucking book. I can tell how much money you make in the first 5 minutes just by the predicates and the words you use. It tells me what you're focused on. Communication is very revealing. And I wanted to know the secrets. I thought that was always my superpower, is understanding the invisible things in the world. And so understand, two things can be true at the exact same time. And so Sam says, follow your heart and what makes you happy. The problem with that is it doesn't pay bills most of the time. And I want to be extremely rich and give away 99% of my wealth and live on 1% and be very content with that. Hard to say since I've never been in this position, precisely. I know there is insurance agents like myself who need your guidance because you were one of the only honest ones that left. That's an interesting perspective because honesty is very rarely the best policy. Mason, how could you say that? My mom told me always tell the truth. The truth, while the truth will set you free, it won't make a lot of fucking sales. How do I know that? Well, I'll tell you, you want to prove me right? Here, actually, you try to prove me wrong. That honesty is very rarely the best policy. What I want you to do is you go out on a date. Go on a date with a girl or a guy you've never met before and lay out all your cards on the table. Tell them, you know what? I want to have babies with you. I want to get married and have a family with you on the first date. Even though I'm not dressed in military camo, so I can't get away with this. But I want to have babies with you on the first date. Let me know how that works out for you. Let me know where that honesty gets you. It's like picking up a bumblebee in an act of kindness. And getting mad when it stings you. Getting mad when you get rejected. Or even better yet, go to the casino and play some blackjack and show everyone your hand. Say, I'm making this bet because I have this. And let me know what happens. Let me know what happens when you don't make any fucking money. Honesty is very rarely the best policy. That's an incongruity. That questions very fucking state of our being most of the time. This is what I mean. Maybe my honesty has prevented me from making 50 million in this industry compared to 2 to 3. Don't know. Even though I'd say 90% of the money I've made, I've embarrassingly and proudly spent on learning stuff. Why? Because I'm a hoarder of information. I hoard. Why? Because my grandparents hoarded and liked collecting stuff. Well, my stuff is just a little bit different, and I haven't broken that habit yet. And I'm proud of my dirty laundry, okay? I'm proud of my choices in life, okay? I'm proud of every single mistake I've made. I wouldn't trade it for the world. What do you mean you're proud of your mistakes, Mason? I mean, I'm fucking proud of them. I'm proud of everything I do wrong because I'm right in my wrongdoing. And if some of you had that belief in yourself, you'd be a lot fucking further ahead in life. You'd be a lot happier with who you are as a person. Just try that belief on sometime. Because even when I'm right, even when I'm wrong, I tend to be right. It makes no logical sense. We don't live in a logical world. Dan Elkin says, I'd pivot to a done-for-you webinar, 100% all good things come to an end. Interesting perspective. And what's funny about Dan, many of you don't know this, Dan has given me thousands of dollars. And what I admire about Dan is this young man's tenacity for life. He had an interesting situation where most people would have either been brain dead and drooling out of their mouth, quite literally, with what happened with him. I'd argue what happened for him, not what to him, but he did not give up. He's missing almost half of his brain, like his frontal lobe, I believe. I could be telling the story wrong, but this young man's appreciation for life. Wow. What an admirable thing. I'm talking a man who was dealt he's playing 21, and he was dealt a 2 and a 9, and he's playing it to the best of his ability. Even though he doesn't have pocket aces, he's playing it to the best of his ability. A position where most people would use the unfair hand they've been dealt. He wasn't even dealt a 2 and a 9. He was dealt a 2 and a blank card. It doesn't even have a number on there. So he's playing with one card, hoping that in the river, there's another 3 2s, so he gets 4 of a kind. And he's playing it to the best of his ability. I admire that tenacity in anybody to not fucking give up, no matter how losing the position is. There's always the best move on the board. And a guy who had brain cancer and survived, who should have been in a fucking wheelchair, drooling out of his mouth, isn't making excuses. I'm rooting for you, Dan. Even if you don't root for you, even if no one else roots for you. I'm your number one fan in the stands, and I'm proud of you. Oh my God, I know a mom struggling to put food on the table. She doesn't give up. Months behind on rent. She doesn't fucking give up. I'm clapping for you. I understand this. I love my agents and my customers dearly. I love you as much as I can, and sometimes I need birds and bees in my life because you guys also stress me the fuck out. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Some of you are the reason I got power alleys up here. But I love you for it because you've given me such a rich appreciation for the things that most would call problems in life. They are what make me feel needed. Because when I hear you guys tell me thank you, that is my selfish motivation. I'm like, I feel needed today. Wow, what an intoxicating drug that little fucker is. I feel needed. Man, that feels good. I'll be the first person to admit it. I'm a selfish person. I'm more selfish than any of you. I'm more selfish than any of you would care to ever admit. I just don't bullshit about it because that's human nature. We want to feel needed. I'm just okay if no one needs me at all. And so you have to be willing to pay the price. You have to be willing to pay the price. But Mason, what if you pivot to done for you webinars and it doesn't work? Then I find another thing that doesn't work for me. Oh well, I'll be rich regardless of what I sell. I'll end up getting rich with something, even if it's not my first business. I made a lot of money selling insurance. Then I transitioned to selling information products to insurance agents. Made 10 times more money than I did selling insurance. Now I can only imagine that the logical progression for me is when I pivot to done for you webinars, I'm going to make 10 times more than I am now. And so it's the logical thing to do for me. Dan Elkin says, we all get 2 lives. The second one starts when you realize you only have one. It's a Confucius quote. I like it. You're exactly right, young man. You're exactly right. And I believe when you wake up from the first. And that's exactly right, Marshall. You don't want to regret not trying something new. The problem, what I'm trying to get you guys to realize is the thought process. I'm letting you come to your own conclusions because people doubt what they are told. They never doubt what they conclude. Meaning if I told you 2 + 2 is 4, you'd say, no, it's not. But if I gave you a math problem where it's 2 + 2 and I let you figure out what x is, 2 + 2 equals x, if you came to 4, you'd believe it a lot more. You'd believe in the solution. Why? Because you concluded it and you were not told. And so I just want to get filthy fucking rich because I like having money. I like the luxuries it affords me. I like the fact that I can go to a drive-through zoo and pet lions and tigers and bears on a Tuesday when there are no lines, when there are no families with 16 kids in a fucking van slowing me down. I like being able to afford stupid $47 passes at water parks so I can skip to the front of the line. I have no problem admitting this shit. I like abusing money. And I just have to sell to people who can spend a lot more. And I just enjoy what I'm going to be doing upcoming. So, by all means, like I love you agents from the bottom of my heart, but a lot of you are just too easily suggestible and you keep making the same stupid decisions over and over and you wonder why you don't get anywhere. You wonder why you're still a loser. Exactly. First class or I ain't flying. That's exactly right. But here's the thing is like I'm trading standards right now at this point of life. If it's not private, I'm not fucking flying. If it's not private, because I'm not going through a line where I get touched by some weird dude who couldn't be a CIA agent. All he could be was a TSA agent. I'm just not doing that. I'm not taking off my shoes and smelling the fucking person in front of me's feet. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not dealing with your kids who cry on airports or your 4-year-old who kicks the fucking back of my seat. I'm not doing it. I refuse to live my life as a peasant. Exactly. You're exactly right, Brittany. That's the level up next, is owning one. Exactly right. And maybe that'll probably make sense for me at some point in the future. But for right now, it's like, that's the process of entrepreneurship, guys. Trade bad problems for fucking better ones. They don't ever actually get solved. It's just different levels. Like, all the things you want to buy, the main reason you want them is because someone else does. This is player versus fucking player out here. And some of you are too in your own damn heads to see that you're getting fucked. Hey, we'll finance your leads instead of you paying us all out front for them. And then you're $15,000 in credit card debt and chargebacks because you didn't learn the main thing you have to learn to sell insurance. Persuasion. You have to know what to say. And then you have to have someone to say it to. But no, you think the answer is delete. Like it's. And by all means, you can disagree, but Compare how much you make to how much I do. And then we'll see who's right. Because I don't care to be wrong. I don't care to be wrong. I just don't. Like, by all means, you be right and you have the life that you have. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want to come home and argue about bills. Fuck. If you think that's what God had in store for you when you were born, you were sadly mistaken. Wrong answer. We got some nice consolation prizes for you in the back. If you think life is just meant to fucking struggle and never enjoy any of it. Jose Frank. I saw that finance leads in an email and just laughed. It's sleazy. It is. But guess what? People still buy it. And that's human nature. That's okay. Like, you guys are doing the best with the resources you have available. You're making information. You're reporting back from the level you can see on. Like giraffes. Like, an eagle doesn't get mad for what a fucking chicken says he sees. He's just reporting what he sees at the ground level. But you know what? I'm an eagle, so I can see a lot more. All right? Like, some of you think selling is like talking about the product. Like, if I was selling, well, guys, this have a 16 megapixel camera and you can take pictures with it. Like, they don't care about that. Like, they just don't. They just don't. You know what they want to feel in touch with their friends. They want to feel like they belong to the community with Facebook groups and silly shit. But it's not silly because it's human nature. It's natural human tendencies. And like, does that not blow your mind as an insurance agent that Adolf Hitler, Adolf, can inspire an entire country to commit genocide? Cult leaders like Applegate, like Applewhite or Applegate, like whatever it was. These people can get seemingly, it blows my mind. They can get normal people just like you and me to abandon their families and everything they love to join a cult or a genocide mission or whatever. And you can't even sell a fucking policy? What do you mean? And what you label it as is that they must be crazy. Or is that morality getting in the way? I would never do that. They must be crazy. Then you never fucking learn anything from it. You never learn. What if they're normal people just like you and me? At least then we can take something from it. If Adolf, with stochastic speech, speaking in a metronome and a rhythm and getting people entrained in that and building it up like a crescendo, like a drum beat, boom, boom, and it just gets harder and harder. If he can do that to inspire an entire country of people to do atrocious shit and think they weren't guilty, imagine what you could do if you applied those same tactics to selling life insurance. Just imagine, regardless of what you were selling. It could be snake oil, I don't know. It's human nature. It's human nature. And the faster you quit shaming shit and saying, only what I do is persuasion, what they do is manipulation. No, it's all manipulation. It's all influence. It happens naturally. You cannot not communicate. It's like that's the fucking position I'm in. It's like I'm fighting tooth and nail over people's objections to get them to buy things I know are in their best interest. They just report back from the level of a fucking chicken because they're scared to soar with the fucking eagles. Because most of you say, one of the biggest objections I always get is, I don't want to make too much money. I don't want to get too successful. You're not going to sneeze and make $1 million, my dear friend. Okay? There's a bajillion steps in between. Most of you are scared of your own success, though. Why? Because it's uncomfortable. You don't know how it feels to walk around with 30, 50, 100,000, $1 million in a fucking bank account. Most of you just don't know. You don't know. And that scares you. You know what happens? I'll fucking tell you. Your friends say, oh, he changed. He changed. And you lose someone that you fucking love dearly. And it's part of the price. It's part of the job. It's part of the job. And your mom says, like, I worry about you, honey. Like, are you ever going to have kids? Are you ever going to settle down and have a family? And they start trying to talk you out of your fucking dreams and make you question your reality. You lose some of the people you love most because it's the price you pay for the ambition that you have. It is what it is, folks. And that can either scare you or, most of you, it would petrify you. Like Harry Potter when people stare in the snakes and they just get petrified. And I have to come through with that potion from the little screaming plants that knocked out Neville. And I have to save your ass with all my sales training and stuff like that. That's how a lot of it goes. And it's so funny. Most of my customers, they're sitting on my email list hiding like for 8-9 months. 8-9 months. And they're like, okay, Mason, I'll start off with your $97 thing. And they take the sales training. And they're like, this is actually good. It's like, holy shit, take more of my money. It's so funny. And here's the thing is like, that's not all of my customers. I'd be lying to you if I said that's all of them. 10% of them are just never going to get anywhere in life. You just have to be okay with that. Not everyone wants what they say they want. Some people will buy a microwave and never use it. Some people will buy a truck and never drive it because they're scared. That is the only real objection any of you ever have in any of your businesses. Fear. It's not I have to overcome the spouse objection, I need to think. No, it's all fear, okay? It's all fear. Understand that. Also, having kids isn't a reason to use your kids as an excuse. I know 8 to 9 figure earners built their business while being parents. Oh my God. Imagine being such a shitty fucking parent that your excuse for everything is, I can't because I have kids. Imagine blaming them for everything you don't have what you want in life. Oh my God. I would grow up to hate you if I was your son. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. If that's your excuse for everything, you're never going to get fucking anywhere. Oh my God, dude. Y'all got to stop with that bullshit. I'm not a parent, but imagine if every time I had a problem in life, I blamed it on my dogs. Well, I can't go to the event thing because, like, you know, I have huskies. I have huskies, so I can't. They bark a lot. They sing songs. Imagine if that was my excuse to everything. Or you know what, like, I've been so stressed out that my hair has started to fall off. Because if people see that, they'll think that I'm not, like, I just don't care. Whether you like me or not, that's not my fucking problem. It's not my job to manage an adult's emotions about me. Because I understand rejection isn't personal. The things you don't like in me, you reject to see in yourself. Perception is projection 100% of the time. You're not rejecting me. You're rejecting those qualities that I would never behave like that. I would never cuss on a Facebook Live. I would never tell my customers that. I would never tell my customer I want them to give me money for the rest of their life. And that's why you don't have customers for life. I've got agency owners that I worked with 3 years ago that still give me a couple $1,000s a month just to come hang out, kick the shit. Why? You have to tell, I don't know. They just feel like I understand them. I don't know. Maybe it's my chest hair. I don't know what it is. But I know I got customers for life. I'm happy for that. Like, my bills are paid. I don't have to go hungry. The only reason I appreciate this is because I grew up hungry. You know what it's like to share plates and forks because there isn't enough dishes. You know what it's like to share a bath with 4 fucking people and you have to be the first one in, that way you're not bathing in everyone's dead skin in cold water at that. You know what it's like to eat bowls of ice for lunch and dinner. You know what it's like to eat lasagna. Some of you may, but it's not fun. What's the Wolf of Wall Street line? I've been a rich man and I've been a poor man. I choose rich every fucking time. Because there really is no nobility in poverty. Mason, you're stingy with... Please tell me how generous you are with your $100. If you're stingy with 100, you'll be stingy with 1,000,000. Why can I go leave a $200 tip when I feel like it, a $300 tip, a $1,000 tip? Please tell me more. Please tell me more about how many children you're feeding with your fucking $30,000 a year. But I pray for them. Okay, let me know how much that helps. Like that's the position I'm in. This is the bullshit that I have to fight with. Why? Because poor people treat their time like poor people treat their money like rich people treat their time. And I get it. I was that way too. You'll understand different perspectives to think from. And maybe one person will be like, Mason, please don't leave you. I don't know. But I think done for you webinars and selling to entrepreneurs in general, high ticket business owners is the next 5 to 10 year phase of my life. I think the insurance industry is no longer deserving of the work. Like, if you believe you've worked harder for me than I have for you, please let me know. Call me out on my bullshit. Please. Like, not a single person can point to my riches. Only the programs that I have built for you. Okay? Please, like, show me your scars. I'll show you mine. Please do. Like, you can't point to my fucking Ferrari that I bought to impress someone that I don't care about. Why? Because I'm not a fucking idiot. First off, I don't have to go blow money to win the circle jerk. I just don't. You know what I get to do? I whatever I want. That's my peacocking. That's my bragging. And I encourage you to chase life that in a similar way. Whatever that is for you. I don't want you to live like me. I don't want people out there like me. I'm a weird dude. No one wants to read propaganda books on a fucking Saturday night. What? When some of you hear that, like, but don't you have friends you hang out with? Very rarely. Because the depth of our communication sustains me for months, for years. I have the most beautiful memories I can always fall back on, no matter how fucked things get. Like, I've solved my money problem, so now it's just, who do I want to do life with, and what do I want to do? I encourage you to do whatever you can to get to that position, because the problems, while they are stressful, they're a lot better than dealing with problems that involve money. Oh my God. Fuck. I can only imagine what my life would have been like if my fiance and I would have stayed together, arguing about bills. Oh my God, I'd have divorced her so fucking quick. Then I'd have lost half my shit, because she came in with nothing. I'm so glad that happened for me. I'm glad. Sometimes the thing you want is the best thing that never happens for you. Thank you, Brittany. But this isn't about me. This is about the industry. Because here's what I know is going to happen when I do leave. This is going to get dark out here for some people. Because no one's shining a light on the fucking problems. No one's showing you agents a more elegant way to do things, to work less and make more, to talk less and sell more. That's the principle of conservation of energy. It's the path of least resistance, my dear friends. The truth is never complicated. A lie always is. And so when you have these lead vendors trying to keep you distracted, like what lead vendors are to agents, what politics are to poor people. It's theater. It's a distraction. And they never let you sit there and fucking focus. And so what they do is, here, you need some mortgage protection leads. Oh, those didn't work? Here, you know what? I actually have some final expense leads. Oh, those didn't work for you either. Thanks for your $5,000 order. Hey, what about IUL leads? You ever tried any of these? IUL, no, those didn't work for you either. Must be your upline, must be the product you're selling, must be the script. It couldn't be our leads because we weren't using a lead generator loophole that opted in for a solar quote at all. That's not why the FTC is coming to this industry. Anyways, have you tried our McGruff Will kits? Oh, those didn't work for you either. What about our referral leads? Have you tried these? And you end up buying these 20 different lead types and never fixing the real fucking problem. That you don't know what to say and you're talking to the wrong people. Like, does that not get complicated? Do you not hate that you're pulled in so many different directions? I don't know if you guys know, but just a couple thousand years ago, what that looked like. You know what happened a couple thousand years ago when you got pulled in multiple different directions? Is they would have 5 horses, right? Or 4 horses. They tie a rope to each of the 4 horses, to each of your limbs, and you get ripped the fuck apart. You are getting ground down slowly rather than making the queen sacrifice and making the best move on the chessboard that is life and business. My dear friend. And it's on you. I know. It's a scary reality. While you know what, like, I'm a very jealous person. I'll tell you something that I'm very vulnerable about. I'm a very jealous person. I envy most of your lives because they're so simple. I could fix all of your problems with the drop of a fucking pen if we traded places. Mason, how dare you say something like that? No, it's like, it's not to bash you. It's like, this journey that I've taken, it's not for most people. It's stressful as fuck. And most of you do not want it. You don't. Who am I to tell you what you want, though? I don't know. You go live your life. You do you, boo-boo. Okay? Isn't that what they said on music videos? You do you, boo. Honey boo, sweetie baby. My cinnamon apple. But some of you get to enjoy days off with your families, sitting by the pool, watching House of the Dragons and getting excited for, what was that shit going around in middle school? Team Edward versus Team Blake, or whatever that dude was off Twilight. Taylor Lautner, or whatever character he played. And like, if that's what, like, I can only imagine that was my biggest problem in life, was I chose Team Edward over Team Blake. Jacob, okay, my bad. I'm sorry. I'm not too good with Twilight. Like, I wish that was my problem. And so I'm jealous of a lot of you. But I'm also not. I would never trade places with any of you at all. And some of you just don't see what I'm saying. Some of you just like, I don't see what you're saying. Well, that's because my vision was prescribed to me alone. Only I can see out of these things. And Brittany, funnily enough, I had a girl she left me in the middle of a date. It was like the only time that ever happened. She goes, "Oh, you're too much like Klaus Michelson. I could never do this." It's like, who the fuck is Klaus? Like, what do you mean? Don't ever compare me to your ex-boyfriend. And I had to go find out who this Klaus Michelson was. And I asked one of the girls I had back then, was a friend. She was a wingman for me. And I was like, "No, silly. It's Vampire Diaries. Have you never seen it?" It's like, "No, I don't sit around and watch Vampire Diaries all day. I go do shit. I go build stuff, okay?" And no, this girl was spot on with her diagnosis of my character comparison. I am exactly like, it was scary. It was terrifyingly symbolic. I was like, wow, this guy doesn't trust anybody. Neither do I. Wow, this guy's so mad all the time. I would never do it. Yeah, I would. I was like, wow, I understand. I wouldn't want to date that. It was a really ugly wake-up call for me. But I don't know. I get away with it because I'm a bad boy. But I appreciate his character development. See, do you know the difference between hero and villain? You are just like Klaus. Haven't watched it since high school, but I see it. Oh, Jesus. Maybe his painting is what poetry is to me. It's a metaphor for control. I control the words, the pen I use, the paper I write it on. To quote Klaus. It's a metaphor for control. Because it makes me understand my place in the world. If you guys knew what I do every Sunday, writing poetry in my journals, and I have 5-ring composition notebooks just full of poetry that I wrote. What you guys see on my public Facebook, that's a 1% of the things that are public. If you saw my private collection, oh my God. You'd be like, what is going on in this dude's head? But I'm a poet. I love poetry. That's something I don't talk about a lot. Because those are my words. Those are my stories. And I don't trust any of you. Because in my delusional reality, I can't. So it's gotten me this far. But understand, you're not gonna please everybody. Just like you're gonna make a lot of people mad. For every person you please, you will piss off another. And so when I leave this industry, I know here's what's gonna happen. Insurance agents will continue to get fucked hard. They will get rammed. And most of you will never develop a marketing strategy. You'll never do any real business metrics. You'll never go to any midnight masterminds and have beautiful experiences and make friends with real partnerships. You'll never be able to access other people's audiences because you think you have to do all the work yourself. That's just not the case, my dear friend. Imagine that you could get on Tony Robbins' podcast and he lets you sell life insurance to his audience. Oh my God, do you think you would make some fucking sales? You're like, Mason, you're exaggerating my objections right now. Exactly. Very persuasive sales mechanism, by the way. Of course you would make money. I would argue you would make so much that you quit. If you talked to Tony Robbins on a recorded podcast on YouTube or at his Unleash the Power Within event, you would be so bogged down with sales calls and people knocking on your door. The world would beat a path to your door, even if you were the worst agent out there selling buy term, invest the rest bullshit. You could be one of those agents and you would still be so filthy rich, you would consider quitting because you don't know how to manage all the money. It would scare you. Some of you would jump off of a bridge. Hopefully onto a trampoline or a pool of water, and it was only 10 foot far. But you get the point. Some of you, you're going to get exactly what you want. Because life's going to see if you can handle it. See, success happens in an instant. Believe it or not. Believe it or not, success happens in an instant. You know what doesn't happen in an instant? Becoming the person who can have that success in an instant. Like my decision to quit smoking cigars. The decision was instant. I told my mastermind, my power pack, hey, smoking cigars no longer serves me. I'm going to quit. And I made the decision right there. I still haven't done it. Why? Because I'm a man of my word. I do what I say. I say what I mean and I mean what I say. If I make a decision, I'm going to stick with it. And so that's why this is a very critical decision for this point of life that I'm in. Should I leave the insurance industry and bid you all farewell? It's been an absolute honor and a privilege to serve you all, and I love you dearly. I love you deeply. I love most of you more than you love yourselves for some reason. And that's why I put myself in painful situations that are no longer advantageous to me. I'm slowly getting ground down while you give all your money to people who want to buy cars to impress people they don't care about, but desperately seek the approval for. I wish my agency owner would like me. Do you know what happens at these events? A bunch of swingers. That's part of it. These people have made a decent... Some of these people are so poor, all they have is money. That went over someone's head. Someone texted that to me. I ain't never said it before. Some of these people are so poor, all they have is money. And so what do? They become degenerate. And they do things to chase a high. It's a dopamine rush. They're like, oh, me and my wife have gotten all big and overweight and hefty, and now we're going to go try to find this hot young couple that are coming in my company and producing. We're going to try to swing with them. It's like, when that got offered to me on my first retreat that I won with oh my God, I was like, I lost respect for all of you. This is when I thought $1 million a year was a lot of money. Oh my God. If you don't realize this, when I was the first new agent, I heard someone made $1 million a year and I was like, babe, could you imagine if that was me? And then I got there. I was like, the goalpost just moves. It's like, this isn't enough. Like inflation, Uncle Sam took half my shit. It's like, what the fuck is this? And I spent it all paying off all my debt for all the shit that I've learned. Now, granted, I have the skills to where I could go print 100 million in the next 10, 20 years. And I'm proud of that investment, even though I can't see it right now. But it's not a lot. And here's the thing. Most of the people you know that barely scratch the surface of making $1 million have no clue how they did it. They don't. They don't know the character traits, the beliefs, or the skills that got them there. I'll tell you it. One, lead generation. It's marketing. It's marketing. If you cannot generate interest, if you cannot take a complete stranger off the street and get them to say, tell me more, what do you got? And get them interested in your products and your service, you will fail miserably. I don't care if you have the best product in the world. I don't care if you've read Alex Hormozy's $100 million offers from front to back. You could recite it backwards in Hebrew. I don't care if you understand it to that level. If you have no one to sell to, it doesn't matter. And next is you have to be good at sales. So you have to have someone to sell to, and you have to have something to sell. You can take a shitty product. You could sell snake oil and make millions of dollars a year. I know people who do it. Not good friends. Very disingenuous, dishonorable people. But if you cannot get 100 people a month to raise their hand and say, tell me more, you're not going to get very far in business. You're just not. And if you can't convert 10% of those 100 people month over month, you're going to have a bad time. You're going to pizza when you should have French fried. South Park reference, I know. I'm a child at heart. At least I didn't forget what it was like to be a kid running towards his goals and dreams. At least I didn't fucking forget how to be a child. Like most of you are already fucking dead inside. You've already given up on yourselves. Because the school system, because the government indoctrination camps, and the digital life destroyers told you how to think and feel. You ever tried turning off the phone for a day and just being productive? Time management. Think our ancestors had to worry about that shit? What did so-and-so say on Facebook about the Olympics? Grandpa didn't worry about that. He took his ass to work because he had kids who depended on him. And I'm so jealous of some of you with kids. You have the motivation you have with those beautiful little blessings. You abuse. You fuck it off. You make terrible investments. You make terrible decisions with your money. You're like, well, I guess I should buy some leads today. It blows my mind. You try to shortcut the process, and in doing so, there are no shortcuts, my dear friend. This is hard fucking work. This is hard work. And it's perspective. It's perspective. A lot of you are trying to solve problems logically rather than psychologically. Here's the inverse. What is the hardest thing that I can knock out today to make the rest of my life easier? Rather than what is the easiest thing I can do today to fuck my life for the rest of my life? I'm going to go buy leads. I'm never going to learn marketing or sales. And you have a little brain-gasm. Like, until you can enjoy the hard work, you don't get to enjoy the smart work. You don't get to do that. And see, now I can sell one to many. I can sell to the masses because I've taken the hard work. I've taken over 3,000 insurance sales calls. Over 3,000 on top of the 1,000 sales calls for insurance agents that I've sold my products to, on top of the tens of thousands of agents who have joined my events, my workshops, my webinars. I've sold to tens of thousands of people. And hostage nose tape, you guys make terrible products. Jesus Christ. I have 3 of these left, and I don't like wasting stuff, so I'm going to use them. It's understand where you can get leverage. It's the 10x is easier than 2x concept. This will change your life for the rest of your life. I guarantee you this. It's like, if I was a brand new agent, the last thing I would ever do is just resort to buying age leads that opted in for a fucking pest inspection and be told they filled out the form on Facebook, their favorite color was yellow. No, it wasn't. Okay? First of all, no one's favorite color is yellow. It's blue, like mine. And all jokes aside, what does Sun Tzu say? Strategy without the tactics are the slowest road to victory. Tactics without the strategy are the noise before defeat. Some of you just want tactics. You're like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And you have no clue why you're doing it. You have no clue why. And you'll be stuck at implementation forever, wondering what to do with no clue when to do it or why you're doing it. You're so focused on the how. What do I do? Never why or when. There's never a rhyme or reason. You just like to get stuck in monotonous work. Brittany says that's the problem. Everyone wants to dream but doesn't want to go through the suck. Yeah, are you willing to pay the price? Like, are you willing? Most of you don't really want what you say you want. And I know how sucky that is to hear. Most of you don't want to be found out that you're just like everyone else. Some of you are, like I said, some of you are so poor, all you have is money. You have no approval of yourself. You have no autonomy in your life. And you're constantly told what to do. You see, the slaves back in the day, and not just the African Americans, I'm talking the Jewish slaves, the white slaves, the Irish, like all the slaves. Every race has been enslaved from one or another. It's propaganda that purports a medium or a narrative that divides, because divide and conquer is the greatest distraction of all. What a beautiful sales mechanism. Get them so distracted that they can't focus on how we're fucking them. Like I said, lead vendors are to agents what politics are to poor people. It's theater to keep you distracted. Hey, you want to try these mortgage protection leads? What about my Razor Ridge? Huh? You want to try this CRM? We do pre-built automations, but we don't tell you it's $10 a tech segment. It's like, haha, gotcha. And they end up selling you 10 different things, and you get like, you're like, where did I go wrong? Where did I go wrong? And it's not your fault if that happened to you. It's not. Like, slaves got free food and free housing. What do they give you now? Money. What do you spend money on? Food and housing. If you got tired of living like that, like I got tired of living like that. I got tired of making my family all these beautiful promises and not being able to live up to them. You know, do you know what that does to your very fabric of being as a man? Not being able to live up to your own word. Man, talk about a kick in the dick. It sucks. It sucks because as a dude, you're only as valuable as you are useful. And the day you fail to provide everyone with a smile, everyone hates you. And so, you know what I'm going to do? I understand that's reality, and I'm going to make myself as important as I possibly can. That way, at the end of all of my days, I have someone who tells me, thank you. That's it. You know, my extremely selfish motivation for everything that I do is I love being told thank you. I love feeling needed. And there's nothing wrong with that to me. I love it. That's my motivation. That's my why. It's not all big and intrinsic. I have some crazy goals, don't get me wrong. But until you're real and raw with what the fuck drives you, I like feeling needed. I like feeling around a group of people that I feel understood by. I like being around people who have something going for them and doesn't use an excuse for everything they don't have. Hostage, you guys absolutely suck. Andy Elliott, you fucking lied to me about this. Hostage sucks. Mason, do you think working with leads at the beginning but not letting it cap you and expanding into, but leads help you chisel? I agree to an extent, but leads help you chisel the sales skill. Depends on the extent. Like when I'm running a business, I was on the brink of hiring a salesperson to come and sell my products to insurance agents. But here's the thing. I did not have consistent lead flow for them. And here's the thing. As an agent, as a business, my people are an investment. I'm not just going to let the cream rise to the top. I'm going to remove the variable that can be pointed why it didn't work. Because if you don't have consistent lead flow as an agent, you have no hope of making sales. So for a 1099 independent agent, yes, I do agree that for the first month, call as many leads as you possibly can. That is the exception to the rule. But what people do with the exception to the rule is they think they're the exception to the exception, and they make it the norm. Work leads for a month, as many as you can. Call 1,000 people. Go talk to 1,000 people. Learn who you vibe with the most. Learn whose problem you want to solve. Pick a group of people that you know you can help and go have that conversation with the rest of the people that are just like that. For me, it was single moms and blue collar factory workers, and that's where I sold hundreds and thousands of those fucking people. And the main thing to do is just to get on the other side of uncomfortability and fear. It's to realize that, hey, I can talk to strangers. That's it. Because here's the thing that's stopping most of you from having success. Your parents taught you as a kid, don't talk to strangers. And some of you are grown-ups. You're a grown adults, and you're still scared to talk to strangers. Your parents forgot to tell you that rule expires when you're 18 or when you get your insurance license or when you get into business. That's what advertising is, telling strangers about what you have to sell. And yeah, Brittany, exactly. I grew up with one, so I knew their problems. I knew how they felt. I knew the thoughts that kept them up at night. And I used that for them to get them to make an educated decision. Like, I understand the nuances of this industry so much. It's so funny that people come into my programs. I had someone give me $25,000 for a year of coaching back when I first started one of my coaching programs. And they said, you know what? I've tried my way. Now I'm going to try yours because it wasn't working. And after a month, I made my first $25,000 month. This stuff actually works. And they just looked at me kind of surprised. It's like, you gave me $25,000 as a 23-year-old, 23-year-old, and you thought, like, well, why would you not think it would, what did you think was going to happen? Like, I can only imagine asking for advice and then not following it. Because, like, here's the thing you agents need to realize. If you're not doing at least $250,000 to $300,000 a year in commissions, if you're not doing that, here's a bitter pill for you to swallow. All right? I'm going to say this. Feel free to disagree. But if you're not making more than me, then you can't fucking say anything. If your life isn't the way you want it to be, you can't say anything. I am right. You are wrong. Do what I say. Do what I say. And you will make money. If you do it long enough. For some of you, it'll be in 9 days. For some of you, it will be in 90. For some of you, it'll take 9 months because you're just as hard-headed as I was when I first stepped into this industry. And you don't know, and you don't know shit about fuck. Like, this world was so new to me. I don't know if it's my claircognizance. I don't know if it's just, maybe it's my ADHD that I've never been diagnosed. I don't know what it is. I'm a weird dude and I see things that aren't there. The answers just naturally come to me and I see the most elegant way there. I see these 4D dimensional models in my head and things just work out. It's like if I put this here, if I pause and I build these systems and complex linguistic motors and mechanisms in my head and they just work. They just work. There's no rhyme or reason. I don't know. But I formulated that into a method of the madness. I kept repeating it. It's like, oh, okay. It's like, this works. Every time I tried to listen to my uplines, it didn't work. Every time I listened to myself, it did. When I tried to recite someone else's sales training as someone else, my customers never got results because I didn't believe in myself back then. And when I said, like, no, just use my sales framework, they were like, wow, I'm making sales. And I'm like, no fucking shit, Sherlock. What'd you think was going to happen? What'd you think was going to happen? You were going to give me money and I just wasn't going to give you anything valuable in return? Like, that's what an exchange is, guys. That's what sales is. Someone values what you have more than they value their money. That's it. The question is, who are you selling to and what do they value? Once you know the answer to that, it's easy to sell them. And here's the thing. These things that people used to make fun of me for, luckily I grew into them, but people call me Dumbo. My uncle, I wanted to kick his ass growing up. These big old ears, they used to be huge when I was a kid. Like, I could fucking flap 3 times and fly to Africa. Okay? I could flap my ears 3 times and I'd be in Africa. That's how far they would have taken me. Luckily, I grew into them. But I listen to people and I say, wow, what do they actually mean by this? Like, and what made me so painfully aware of this lesson was in second grade. I gave a Valentine's Day. Do any of you remember what Valentine's Day was in elementary school? My mom got me my little box of chocolates, and I wrote my little Valentine letter. Dear Abigail, will you please, PLZ, by the way, please be my Valentine? And I gave it to Abigail with a sucker and a box of $4.99 chocolate when things were actually affordable back then for the normal person. And she goes, oh, read between the lines, Mason. And I'm like, this bitch. What? What do you mean? I just gave you my heart, woman. I just showed you my hand that I've been dealt, and you threw it in my face. How dare you? So that's what I thought in my head. She broke my heart. But I would say that always stuck with me. Interesting. Read between the lines. What was she doing? She was flipping me the fuck off. In second grade, who raised this hoe? Who raised her? Flipping a dude off in second grade. And that's why I never picked her on my basketball team again. And now her life is still shit. You know what? I saw her as a mutual friend on Facebook the other day. It was probably 4 months ago. But I clicked on it. I said, how are you doing? I remember you. I ain't ever forgot that shit. Okay? I ain't never forgot. Well, now she's like 300 pounds overweight. Got kids with dads they'll never meet. You see what happens when you treat people like that? Don't fucking do it. Don't ever tell a kid in second grade to read between the lines. And if that's your kid, raise that little asshole better. No girl should be flipping dudes off in second grade. Okay? It's not ladylike. She could have just said, no, thank you. And I said, okay. It is still probably hurt. But, wow. What an evil girl. What an evil woman. And evil things happen to evil people. Okay? Because that's how the world dispenses justice. So thank you, God. God always looks out for his favorite warriors. But understand, please. You could watch this live right here and probably you would find success as an agent if you took everything I said to heart. If you just adopted it and tried my worldview on, even though it's a little blurry for some of you, you'd be a lot farther ahead where you are. Just keeping it real. Just keeping it real. Well, that's what you know me for, right? You wanted honesty and blunt answers. You're a big boy. You're a big girl. You don't need someone to sugarcoat. Why do you let the elite vendors do it? Why do you let your upline do it? Why do you let your IMO sugarcoat you and give you the Kool-Aid the stain, Kool-Aid stain around your lips at eventually? What lead vendor are we trying this month? What CRM do? Can we roll down the windows? Mason, why are you acting like a child? It gets the point across. It's a very good sales mechanism. Exaggerate their objection and they'll give it up freely. What am I doing? Now you don't have to go through all the scar. You should see the horse whip marks on my back. Those are interesting. But understand this. I'm gonna for the first time in a couple years, I'm actually in a precarious position. Should I stay or should I go? Because I love you, agents, but I believe it's time for bigger and better things, and I feel like I wouldn't be living up to my words that I tell you to live up to if I didn't do it myself. And so that's the price I have to pay. Let all the programs run their natural course for the people who have already purchased and honor my end of the word, like honor my end of the deal, because I'm a man of my word. Never going to betray the hearts of my customers at all. If you've given me money, I appreciate that. I love you from the bottom of my heart. And I'll go to war for you. This is just no longer a hill worth dying on for most agents. It's a 99% failure rate. Like, fuck. You try selling products in an industry like that. Luckily, I'm great at sales. But imagine having products that have changed other people's lives and they just never get used to their full extent. People will watch one video and said, oh, but my kids, I can't go through your program all the way. It's like, and that's why you never get anywhere. I'm going to give Mason $1,000 and prove to him this didn't work. That's some people's attitudes. I can't be helped. I can't gain weight because yes, we know your metabolism is special. You've just somehow figured out the cure for malnutrition. What I would like to do is study you and offer a cure to all the kids who live impoverished lives in a place like Africa or Ethiopia or Haiti. Please allow me to study the specialness that is you, Snowflake. You just can't get results no matter how many people you talk to because you project things onto them. If I wouldn't do appointments with my wallet, I wouldn't make sales either. A lot of you cock block yourself. That's the bitter truth. And I'm sorry that it has to be me that says that to you. Because no one else is going to do it. They're going to keep selling you bullshit tickets to events you don't need to go to get leads that aren't really worth working. What's funny is if you've ever thought, I bet they give the best leads to the best agents. Of course they do. Would you not? Like if you had an agent that everyone looked up to, like let's say I was still selling insurance full time and I was behind a lead vendor and I was supporting them and they were giving me all their best leads and I was closing them. And you say, wow, I want to do $100,000 in a month. Would you not go rush to buy those leads? Like, would not be the smart thing to do as a business owner? Put yourselves in their shoes and you understand why they do it. But if you've ever thought that they give the best leads to the best agents, yes, they do. You're right. You're right. The question is, why are they not giving them to you? Why are they not? And it's sad. This industry is very sad. Exactly right. Jose knows exactly what I'm talking about. But I don't know. I think this is the end of an era. So, I don't know. Comment your thoughts down below. I'm about to get off here and go to the gym. I'm probably going to do a 5, 7, I don't know. Maybe I'll do a 10-day fast. You know what? Maybe I won't eat for the next 21. I don't fucking know. I'm in a precarious position, as I said. So, if you were in my shoes, would you keep selling to insurance agents who aren't willing to get out of their comfort zones, who aren't willing to do the work, who aren't willing to buy things outside of leads because they can't see past the indoctrination and the lies of society? Which is a plate from Quoto. Those who see past the lies of their culture will never be believed, let alone understood by the masses. And that's the position that I get to play. Oh, wise one. And so, should I keep being a big fish in a small pond, or should I become a small fish in a big pond and go sell done-for-you webinar services to high-ticket business owners? I'm curious, what would you do? And if the answer is done-for-you webinar services, I've already made a pivot to that. And so I'll be running that out as a 3-day workshop in the near future. If you want me to do your webinar for you, I'll get it converting. I will sell your offer better than you can. I'm just good at it. I just know people. I know people. And I don't shame them for their... Mason, something's wrong with lying. People lie. People cheat. People steal. People are conniving. And it's human nature. And I expect humans to be humans. I don't expect anything different from you. I don't expect you to give up your excuse. I expect you to do what you're going to keep doing. Let me know what you do in the comments or the replay, the chat box. Send me a message on Facebook if you're watching on there. But I truly love you all. When I make my final decision, I will let you know. I owe you that much. I owe you a goodbye. You're just going to leave without saying goodbye? No. And it's never really bye. It's just I'll see you later. Maybe you can take my webinar stuff and use it in the insurance industry if you're smart enough to apply it to yourself, and you can use it to recruit 1,000 agents in a year. Ever thought about that? Same way you sell is the same way you recruit. So if I do decide to leave this industry for good, what I will do is I'll throw a goodbye party. It'll probably be on my birthday coming up, October 12th, 1990. Buy me a birthday gift. I I wear a size large in hot sauce. It's the best gift in the world. Hot sauce, duh. If you mail me Nike socks, I will come and find you. Okay. Don't make fun of me. I will come and fucking find you. No, just send me some hot sauce, all right? But anyways, all jokes aside, I digress. I will have a going away event if I do decide to leave this industry. It's a big decision for me. And so, we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But once I do, I'll be shutting down all my programs forever. And they'll be lost. So, if you want a stupid fucking deal on everything I've done, my life's work in the insurance industry, applied, like, I'm talking, this is the only sales training applied to specifically insurance agents. You're not going to find it in Jeremy Miner's program. You're not going to find it with Alex Horm. Like, you're just not going to find it anywhere. You're not going to find anyone else who understands the nuances of humanity and people and manipulation and brainwash. Like, you're not. Okay? You know what? Like, I challenge you to go find it. Go give these people tens of thousands of your dollars. And when you can't figure out how to apply it to your industry, don't come to me. Don't come to me. Okay? Because I'm not responsible for cleaning that up. You made a bad decision. Own up to it. So keep going and wasting your money. It just doesn't bother me anymore at this point. But I'll have a special going away party where I'll sell something. Why? Because, well, if it's free, you won't value it. I've given my program that I've sold for $50,000 away to agency owners for free just to see if they do anything with it. They don't. They never do. They never do. They're lazier than the agent who had to scrape $1,000 together to buy one of my lower ticket programs. And it's weird, to say the least. People don't value what they have no skin in the game for. So, leave a comment, leave your thoughts on this. I don't know. I'm in a interesting crossroads. So, we'll see where this goes from there. But I love you all. Keep being awesome. If you want to learn how to command attention like this and keep engagement from complete strangers on Facebook for an hour and 36 minutes and 3 seconds, like, I'm your dude. I'm certainly interesting, and you don't know your attention has been captured until it has been released. You're like, wow, did I really just sit through an hour and a half of someone doing this? Yep, you did. So, love you all. Keep being awesome. I will see you in the near and dear future. I'll let you know what I decide, but I've got other things to do today. So, I encourage you to chase leverage and opportunities in your business that would allow you to live life in a similar way that I live mine, which is I have done things that have afforded me the ability to do whatever the fuck I want to do. And if you would like that as a bragging right, I'm your guy. If that scares you or if that feels wrong, go find fucking someone else, Snowflake. Okay?